It's not quite Spain. In fact, it's a bit misty, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, bit of a drizzly old morning. I'm missing Spain. I'm actually going away on holiday again soon, so don't worry. We're back out there in abroad. We've kind of clocked up, right? Don't want people thinking that I've just sort of spent my life on holiday. We booked our family holiday for the end of June, and then the in-laws said, "Oh, we're going to hire a villa, and you're welcome to come out." And it's to sort of celebrate their anniversary and stuff and whatnot. So we were like, "Okay, brilliant. That sounds great." And they booked it for the beginning of June. So it was like, oh, so basically all of June I'm basically pretty much abroad. So I'm back for a few days, and next week I'm shooting off again. And looking at that weather, I'm quite looking forward to it, I've got to be honest. I'm missing the Spanish sunshine, I've got to be honest. One thing I'm not missing at all is West Ham at the moment. I've got to be honest, I'm very exhausted with this football club at the moment. It's been nice, isn't it, to have a bit of a break from the football side of things and to try to not be too stressed out about it. But the thing is now, our stress levels are switching, aren't they? They go now move over towards a transfer window, which is at the moment just not delivering. West Ham are just looking so lost and so tied to this ridiculous notion that we have to sell before we can buy. I'm not saying that we don't have to do that, but it's the fact that the club are acting like there's nothing else we can do other than wait to sell players, which just isn't the case. We talked about this previously in the previous video. The West Ham shareholders are very capable of buying shares now and pumping money into the football club, and then they could then recoup that money later on down the line. Basically, this feels like yet again another rule that David Sullivan's imposed on this football club that hinders it and damages it badly. This reminds me of our manager rule. They must be unemployed. One, they must be employed, and two, they must have Premier League experience. Why? Why is there always this rule you must adopt? It's ridiculous. The David Sullivan rule book at West Ham that just all it ever seems to do is hinder the football club all the time, and no one seems to be able to get around it. It's driving me absolutely mad. The other thing as well is it's not just it's restricting us, which angers me, and it's not the fact that it shows incompetence. It shows a lack of care. It shows a lack of ambition. It makes you then even further question, why are you owning this football club then? Why are you running this football club if this is your mentality? You're willing to hinder a vital transfer window because of a rule that you've put in place. So basically what they're suggesting is, which I do understand, by the way, that they want West Ham to be a self-sufficient running football club. So it doesn't need to keep being financially rescued. Yeah, get that. That makes loads of sense. But we're not there at the moment now. You've got yourself into a position, Sullivan, where you can't do that. You're going to have to come in and do something because we need to give grand pot of funds. This isn't a transfer window where we're going to be picking up one or two players to strengthen the squad this summer, is it? Let's just come off the back of a decent season and we've identified a couple of areas we want to strengthen. We're not doing what, say, an Arsenal are doing at the moment, where they're going, right, we need to get a striker, we need to get a couple of players in, and we're going to then go for the challenge for the title. So, you know what I mean? That's a different transfer window. West Ham are going through something completely different. West Ham are going for a full rebuild under a new manager that you've brought in, and you're now hindering that guy from doing what's needed. It's quite clear that this is what's needed. We've been talking about it for a long time. Now, I'm not sitting here throwing my toys at the pram saying I was expecting us to have 2 or 3 deals over the line. I wasn't expecting. I know how we operate in transfer windows. We're typically quite slow. A lot of clubs are. Although I would say that it does feel like this transfer window, everyone else seems to be far ahead than we are. I'm just frustrated with it. Like everybody, getting really, really bored with this whole David Sullivan rule book and way of management. I mean, the guy is just—it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. I've just had enough of it. Really have. It's infuriating, awful, having to deal with this level of incompetence running our football club, and the lack of accountability from these owners is unbelievable. This is why he hides behind the whole PSR thing all the time. Oh, this is what it is. It's to do with PSR. It's nothing to do with that. We talked about this. I'm not going to keep going on about it because I know I'm repeating myself over and over. But this is what we're getting now, and this is the fallout that we're now not able to go and sign players. That we're struggling. We're waiting to sell. And you know, we're struggling. We're struggling to sell. The only player that's looking closer to sell, there are 2 that's looking closer to sell at the moment, is Max Cornet, which we're going to get peanuts for. It's not even really worth writing home about. And then you've got Naya Gerd. But what about all the others, you know? What about all these other players that we've got to sell? What about Emerson? What about Ward-Prowse if we're going to be selling him? What about Rodriguez? What's happening with them? Defenders, are we going to be selling Mavropanos? Because I'm not seeing any people being linked with moves. I'm not seeing any concrete positions other clubs coming in and interested. We're talking about selling Mohamed Kudus. Well, as I've said before, how many clubs can buy him? 4, maybe, in Europe? Do you know what I mean? 4 or 5? That's it. You're not going to have an abundance of football clubs that are going to go, yeah, we'll spend 60, 70 million pounds on Kudus. There ain't many, because London clubs can't afford him. And that doesn't seem to be happening, does it? Really, like, I'm not seeing. I mean, we've had the link with Chelsea, but apart from that I haven't heard any more. It's not as if clubs aren't clambering to get to Kudus. So you have to question whether is that going to be an easy sale. I'm getting concerned, really concerned. And as I say, we can't operate now until we get a sale through the door. Well, a sale over the line, but is that going to happen? I'm not confident at all. I'm not confident, and yeah, it's worrying, and it's just again another example of the woeful ownership of this football club and how they run it and what the position they put us in. And it's bad. I mean, this is really bad. I'm not suggesting this is going to be a disastrous transfer. It could turn. Okay, we could get the couple of sales through and then we could go and get our business done. But the early signs are not good, and the club aren't helping matters. That's what's doing my head in. The fact that we've got such a lack of ambition at this football club, and it's frightening. We see it all the time, don't we? It's nothing to be surprised about, but it's frightening how bad things are. And my word, I cannot wait to see the back of these owners. I've got to be honest. Can't wait to see the back of them. Got a video coming up, by the way, on this survey. There's a big survey going out, and this is regarding the wall as well, is included in that. So I'm going to come to that in another video, but please be prepared for that, because that's a big one. I'm going to really need a lot of support with you on that, because I need you to get this survey, get you involved, because we need to get the numbers up as much as we can and get as many signatures on that survey and get as many answers. And basically, it's just to do with the running of the football club, the stadium itself, everything. We want to get it over to the club, and it's very, very important. But I'll do that, as I say, in another video. I've got a transfer video coming up later. Talk about Josh Brownhill. And a couple of others, basically just to sort of reiterate what we've reported on this website, that it's not close. It's understand. At the moment, West Ham aren't going to be buying any players at the moment and bringing players in. We need players going out. Do you know what I mean? I can't see the club now committing to bringing another midfielder in at the moment. So, but anyway, I'll get on with an update on that later on. And that'll be this evening, hopefully, on a bit of a transfer update. But look, have a good one. And I know, by the way, the transfer window's closed at the moment, so we've got a few days off anyway, so there's not going to be any business being done now, but you can still have talks and stuff. But let's just hope for some more positivity, because we need to get some money in, clearly, because the club aren't going to spend any money until they sell players, which I just think is ludicrous, and it's driving me poxy mental, to be honest, with this, how badly our club is being run. It's shocking. Anyway, have a good one. Come on, your ones.